Welcome to the Winning Youth Podcast, where we discuss issues and challenges affecting the youth today. On this show, we will discuss and share insights from the Word of God on how to overcome life's challenges. So take a chill pill, relax, and grab some headsets. Welcome your host and friend, Sheba.
Hello and welcome. Today we discuss love and relationships. Allow me to narrate to you a short story of how I got on the wrong bus. When I was young, I remember getting on a bus whose destination I did not inquire. I just assumed that the bus was going to take me home because it was parked in the same spot where I usually got the buses that were going home. As the driver started off, I saw strange buildings that were kind of different from the ones I used to see on my way home. I asked a passenger who was seated next to me where the bus was going, and to my surprise, I had boarded the wrong bus. I immediately asked the driver to drop me off by the roadside so that I could get on the right bus. I had to board two buses to take me home on that particular day. Does this bus story sound familiar to you? This story has caused me to reflect on how people go into relationships without a clear picture of where the relationship is going. I'm talking to people who have made up their mind to settle down, people who want to get into a relationship that is leading to marriage. A relationship should have an objective. An objective is something that you plan to do or achieve without allowing personal feelings to cloud your judgment. So what I mean by objective, not allowing your personal feelings to cloud your judgment, is you put that objective on paper. So you are going to write characteristics that you want to find in a person that you want to settle down with. And if you meet a person that you like or a person that you're attracted to, if they do not meet your characteristics, it means that they're disqualified. They are disqualified, and you should not allow your feelings about them to cloud your judgment because you have characteristics that you are comparing them with, characteristics that you want to find in them in order for them to qualify. And you are going to use those same characteristics to measure if they are the right person for you. So where do those characteristics come in? Setting standards is very important in one's person's life, and it should not be taken lightly. One good thing about setting standards is that it does not require you to come from a good background. Whether you come from an abusive home or a broken home, you can still set good standards. Your past should not determine your future. You can actually come out of that situation and set good standards and reap good results. Setting standards helps us to know what we should or should not entertain. And if peradventure we get into wrong relationships, the standards we set will help us to come back to our senses. Sometimes we lose our senses. Trust me, we do. Sometimes we lose our senses. People lose their senses. Most people can testify of how that they lost their senses when they fall in love. Love is a strong force. And the Bible tells us not to awaken love before its time. Why does it warn us not to awaken love before its time? Because love is a strong force. Love is a strong force. When you fall in love with the wrong person, it will take you some time to wake up from that slumber. It will take you some time. And people will be advising you and telling you that the person is wrong, but you'll be thinking they are talking nonsense. You will even be telling some people that that person is just jealous of me. She's just jealous that I'm dating this person. He's just jealous that I'm dating that lady. So it's very hard to take advice when you've fallen in love. It's very difficult. And most people don't really get advice when they're in love. It is after some time that they realize that the person is not right for them. It is after they experience life with that person. That is when they come back to their senses and realize that what the people were telling them was actually right. It takes time to wake up from the slumber. So you can imagine people who have nothing to compare with, people who never set standards. What comes, comes. What comes, and it must work. They have nothing to compare with. But it is different if you set standards. Even if it takes you a long time to remember your standards after a mighty fall, because sometimes there is what we call a mighty fall. Sometimes you fall in love and you've been in that relationship for a very long time. That is a mighty fall. A mighty fall. But remember, you shall remember your standards. You will wake up one day and realize that this is not what I really wanted. It will take some time, but you will remember. And sometimes you will come back to your senses when it's been 20 years. And that's a long time you've been with someone, and I think it's quite difficult to come out of certain situations if you've been in them for a long time. So I pray that you remember the standards that you set while the time is right for you to come out of those situations and relationships. And if you do not have standards, I ask you that you set some standards. Set some standards, Take a pen and a paper and write down some things that you want to find in a person that you want to spend your life with. May the Lord open the eyes of someone who is in a wrong relationship and give them courage to leave. It is very difficult to leave. Someone you love, it is not easy to leave them. It is actually very painful. It hurts. And yes, you will cry, but you will be all right. You will cry. Everyone cries when you really love someone and you realize that the relationship is not working and it has to break. It's something that is really painful. You will cry. You will cry. Like the song goes, you will cry me a river. But you won't die. After some time, you get better. You get better. And you will even ask yourself, what was I crying? What was I crying? Was crying even necessary? Was it necessary to cry for that person? But it's a process. It's a process. You cry, and sometimes you cry and you think that you have left the best thing that ever happened to you. But if it's not right, it's not right. And if you don't have the peace in that relationship, there is no need in staying in it, holding on to a relationship that is not working just because of what people will say, or just because you think you're going to be so lonely after the relationship is done. You are better off alone. You are better off alone, because when you are alone, then some other people can see that you are actually still on the market than you hanging on to someone who is not right for you.
Thank you for listening to the show. Kindly follow and subscribe on Spotify, Anchor, Facebook, and YouTube. Till next time, remember, a problem shared is a problem half solved.